You want to build a company that is worth a lot of money because someday you might want to sell it. And if you do, don't you want an exit that turns you into a millionaire and sets you up for life? But if you've never done it before, how would you know what actually makes a business worth a lot? Because if you focus on the wrong things or just aren't aware of what can greatly affect the value of your company, well, you end up with a company that isn't worth as much as it could be. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you a conversation I had with Nate, who owns and runs a very profitable e-commerce business that sells outdoor spray equipment. And he asked me a really interesting question about Ebitda. And this short conversation is one that could dramatically change the value of your business if and when you go to sell it. But before we get to it, take a second now to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss the videos I post each Monday. Now let's get into it.
So first thing is, I know in your story, you kind of said that you guys were really targeting to get to like an Ebitda of $5 million before you really looked to go out and sell. And we're kind of hovering right now around that 1.5 to 2 million kind of trailing Ebitda. So I wanted to just see if there was a reason you picked the 5. Was it based on the environment you were in, or was it just like an exit number that you guys really felt like that was the number for you? Or was there something about that 5 million that like was the target at the time?
Yeah, for us, it was after talking with a bunch of private equity, not just private equity guys, but investment bankers. There's kind of like these tiers, kind of just like invisible lines, where when you cross that kind of 5 million, you're in that kind of middle market. For us, it was selling to private equity. So we weren't, we sold on Amazon, but our strategy was not to be heavy on Amazon.
Right.
So when we sold, we were very low percentage of revenue was from Amazon, and the majority of it from our site. And that still holds today. I think the S1 that was filed for when we went public, we were, I think, single digits in terms of percentage of revenue on Amazon and the rest on our site. And so strategy of building this business to be sellable, we wanted it to be sellable for private equity. And we weren't looking for a small business broker, like maybe like a Quiet Light. You hear those guys a lot in the e-commerce space. That's a much smaller game.
Right.
We were going for big numbers. So we were, after talking with a bunch of people, we kind of thought, one, we could get there. And two, it's kind of an invisible line in the sand to where the multiples are much higher. I mean, the investment bankers for us, we're talking, that's when you kind of get into the 6, 7, 8s of multiples. Back then. That was 2019. I think things could be a little bit different now. We blew through that. We exited at a low 9-figure valuation, and we had reached our kind of where we got to where we needed to be for Ebitda. And that puts you in a different game. And so for us, it was like, we don't want to sell to like small brokers and finding some guy who wants to come in and operate. We want to go for institutional money. And that's all through these PE firms, middle market PE firms. And so that if you look around online for like middle market PE firms, they'll often tell you like who their target is. And it usually says like companies with an EBITDA value of XYZ. And so it could be 5 to 10 million or 5 to 20 million dollars of EBITDA. So on the low end, it's kind of that $5 million is kind of our general sense of where that line was. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to go, swing for the fences and not sell to just some rich guy who wants to come in and build a team and operate it and, pay me back with my own money over time and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah,
that makes sense.
When you build a business that crosses the invisible line of $5 million of profit, your company will likely be worth multiples more than if you had sold it earlier. By crossing that invisible line, you'll have proven that your company is on another level and you'll be heavily rewarded for it. And while we're on the topic of increasing the value of your company for exit, click on this video here for another strategy that most online sellers aren't paying enough attention to. This is a strategy that can make your company worth many multiples more than the average online business, and it's something you can implement now. Click on this video here because the next question Nate asked me is a gem. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.